So what are the issues that you're going to push on here in Cariboo-Prince George?
The issue that's the most important to me is universal pharmacare. I spent my whole career working in healthcare, and I saw people in emergency and as patients through the lab, where I was the lab tech, who could not afford their medication. So they just didn't take it. So of course then, if you don't take your medication, then you land up in emergency or you land up in the hospital. So one of the key platforms for the NDP, and definitely my key platform, is universal pharmacare. And so the question is, well, how do you finance something like that? Okay, well, it's estimated that if we go to universal pharmacare in Canada, that we'll save $4 billion a year. And how that will happen is that instead of the provinces each purchasing their own medications, that we will purchase it as a country. And so there'll be a cost saving there.
Right. So what do you make of the foo-for-all that's going on in New Brunswick between the NDP and the Greens?
Well, some of it is overblown. Some of it, the fellow who was in the NDP federally jumped in and made some assertions that were proved to be incorrect. Jagmeet Singh jumped right back in again and said, well, no, these people are not leaving. And a number of them said, well, no, had no idea my name was on that list. There are some that have left for the Green Party, but the majority of that group did not.
Mm-hmm. So I think I saw on your Facebook page where you were critical, I guess, of Elizabeth May's
Yes.
stance on saying she wouldn't stop any of her MPs from opening the abortion debate.
Yes. And we thought, we as Canadians thought that we had dealt with that, but the Conservatives have said no, they would allow some of their MPs who are not cabinet ministers, if they get in, to vote freely. And Elizabeth May jumped in. I was appalled. I thought that when I first listened to Elizabeth May and heard her platforms, I thought she was way more progressive and way more feminist and for women's rights. And frankly think what she's doing is just political. She wants to stay on the side of whoever wins. She's not standing up for her principles.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think your chances are here in Cariboo-Prince George? It's a tough fight as always?
Well, there's 6 candidates now.
Oh, there's a 6th?
There's a 6th one popped out of the woodwork yesterday. I mean, as a candidate, I'm going to say, yes, I'm going to take this riding. Realistically, I think I do have a chance to take this riding. My thinking there is that there are 3 right-wing candidates. There's the People's Party candidate, the Conservative candidate, and this fellow who declared that he was running today belongs to, and I may have this not quite correct, the National Alliance Coalition. And they're even right of the PPC.
Yes.
Right? So, and I believe that the Liberals won't do as well in this riding this time. It's the same candidate this time, but in the last election, they were riding a wave of anti-conservatives, let's elect the Liberals. The Liberals have not proved to be the big fairy story that they started out to be. So I don't believe that they will get as many votes. And as I said, I think the Greens are just light conservatives. Mm-hmm. So I believe that with a good campaign, which I'm undergoing right now, that I could take the riding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd have to pick up 5 or 6 percentage points.
Absolutely.
And probably be pretty close, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yep, and I'm prepared to work really hard to do that. The NDP appeals to just ordinary Canadians, people who are just trying to get by, and that's what I'm focusing on, just ordinary Canadians.
Right on. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Bill.